My question is directed to PhilHealth actually. Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, is it correct that PhilHealth has around 466 billion investable fund? Can the PhilHealth validate this?
Yes po,
Manny?
it's correct po.
Tama rin po ba na lumaki ang net income ng PhilHealth from 21 billion to around 68.4 billion as of July 31?
Yes po, that's correct po.
Therefore, it is clear na may pera ang PhilHealth.
Yes po, that's correct po.
Bakit po maraming reports ang nagsasabing delayed ang bayad ng ahensya sa mga hospital? Madam Chair, ano ba ang mandato ng PhilHealth? Maging health insurance provider o maging isang state investment company? Maraming utang sa mga hospitals, no? Magkano po ba ito? I mentioned this, Madam Chair, I want to put this on record. Hindi po ako may-ari ng hospital, wala po akong hospital, wala akong kaibigan o kamag-anak na may hospital. I mentioned this because sa akin pong pag-iikot, napakarami po ng mga hospital na hindi na tinatanggap yung mga indigent patients dahil daw po maraming utang ang PhilHealth sa kanila. And then, marami rin po na hindi na raw po mapasweldo yung mga kanilang pong mga staff, frontliners, dahil po malaki ang utang ng PhilHealth. So, ang gusto kong malaman, magkano ba ang utang ng PhilHealth dito sa mga hospitals na to? At ano po ang plano ng PhilHealth dito?
Okay. Po, Madam Chair, may I? Thank you again po for your question. In fact, I'm really grateful because that's the part I forgot that was supposed to complete my answer. No. Anyway, so we will come up with your question po on magkano po yung utang sa mga hospital. But what I want to highlight, and I wanted to mention this to Kong Stella before the hearing started because very important to, no. Yesterday po, despite our busy schedule, I called for a meeting with the Hospitals Association of the Philippines. Lahat po ng heads nila, lahat ng president, lahat ng senior officers, complete attendance po. In fact, 2 of them were attending an ExCom and they stepped out because sabi nila mukhang importante yung meeting. So I was grateful po to them. We had a very lengthy meeting. Yesterday lang po to. It was a virtual meeting, no? And the reason for the meeting, Honorable Congressman, is I said malamang bukas meron kaming hearing sa Congress with the honorables. And feeling ko, ang itatanong nila is, bakit hindi yung bayaran sa hospitals, bakit delayed, bakit hindi nagbabayad, no? True enough, it's probably the first question of the day, no? And just to give a brief background on the meeting, it went...
Press Manny, can you just directly answer the question? Magkano po ang utang ng PhilHealth sa mga ospital?
Okay po. So in terms of, one last sentence lang po, the meeting kasi, it ended by, I asked all of the honorable heads of the Hospital Association of the Philippines, are you happy? And are you happy with the service? May mga complaints ba kayo sa mga utang ng PhilHealth? And lahat sila po, unanimously po, actually naka-record to po, so just in case kailangan po, no, wala silang problema. Very, very happy sila sa service ng PhilHealth. In fact,
noted.
Okay
Please
po.
answer the question.
Thank you po. Sorry for that po. So anyway, so the question that was asked by Honorable Lee is how much is the payments to the total payments to the hospitals po, no?
Utang.
So ang payables po in process po now is roughly yung more than 60 days po is roughly 13 billion po. 13 billion po. Ma'am, does that answer?
Madam Chair, yan ba yung total payables na sa lahat ng hospitals? 13 billion lang lahat buong Pilipinas? Kasi kung 13 billion lang yan, sa napakalaking pera ng PhilHealth, ano ba yung rason bakit hindi ito nababayaran, no?
Okay.
Hindi naman tayo pabagalan dito, no? Kasi serbisyo ito na binibigay sa atin mga mamamayan.
Sige. Okay. So, ma'am, ma'am? Okay, sir, thank you again for your question. So, just to clarify, 13 billion yung more than 60 days po. Pero yung total of all, okay, of all, is roughly double that amount, 27 billion po. So, so to answer your question, I would think the number you were looking for was 27 billion po. Now, I just broke it down, yung more than 60 days to 13 billion po. So, yes po.
Madam Chair, okay, even at 27 billion, di ba napakaliit na amount nito? Ano ba nangyayari talaga? Bakit po umaabot ng napakatagal ng bayaran? No? Again, mentioning this, Madam Chair, because apektado po yung serbisyo, no? Sa aking pag-iikot, and I personally experienced this, napakarami pong hospital ayaw na tumanggap ng mga pasyente pag PhilHealth ang pinag-uusapan. And then marami rin mga doctors, marami rin mga nurses, marami mga empleyado, hindi na raw po nababayaran ng hospital dahil ang laki ng utang ng PhilHealth sa kanila. So, yun lang po ang gusto kong malaman. Ano po ang plano ng PhilHealth dito? Kailan ba ito mababayaran? Lahat ng ito, ano pa?
Congressman Lee.
Maraming salamat po for your question again, Honorable Lee. No, I'm happy to state to Honorable Congressman that we will completely, hopefully, or very high percentage po within 90 days, no? Yung 27 billion po. You can pwede yung naka-record naman to, 'di ba? So within 90 days po, we will try to pay a very high percentage of the 27 billion.
What is the basis of the sudden increase in your salaries? You tripled it, eh. So, it seems like you're tripling your salary because you were able to increase the net income of PhilHealth, but then you are failing to actually fulfill the mandate of PhilHealth of providing the healthcare services that is needed by the Filipino people. So, it's coming out that while I understand that we need to have PhilHealth floating para hindi naman siya mabankrupt, it's very skewed towards profit-oriented instead of being a service-oriented organization already. Can you at least explain to us how can we justify this to the public?
Honorable Chair and honorable members of the committee, our salary was increased based on an EO, an executive order 150, which is on the CPCS, or the position classification and salary system, which is standardizing the salaries of all GOCCs. Even before we were allowed to pattern our salaries on this EO, we actually applied to the GCG, and we have the certification process, and we went through this and we were approved. Hence, our salary was increased accordingly to the standardized salaries of all GOCCs.
What EO number and what series was this EO, so that we may be able to review it?
Order 150, Mr. Chair.
What series of what year?
2021 po.
During the pandemic, you tripled your salaries?
This was effective 2022, Mr. Chair.
Still, but you guys had the guts to actually, during the middle of a pandemic, actually put out an EO to triple your salaries to be in effect this year, in anticipation of what?
Mr. Chair, I would like to check po that the EO is not coming from PhilHealth, but was coming from the Malacanang as part of, again, the standardizing the salaries of all the GOCCs. So it's not only for PhilHealth, but for all the OGCCs which underwent the same process.
Okay, thank you. I will have to review this EO and why is this standardized through all of the other government institutions. So sinasabi niyo, dinamay niyo pa yung mga ibang GOCC na, so sinasabi niyo pati sila na triple din yung salary nila.
Well, again, Mr. Chair, the EO speaks for all the GOCCs and not just for PhilHealth.
Okay, thank you.
Umaga po sa pamilya ng DOH. So, yung question ko po, no, yung implementation ng salary grade 15 sa ating mga nurses. So, tanong ko lang po, no, fully implemented na po ba itong salary grade 15 sa lahat ng ating mga nurses sa ating mga public hospitals po?
Yes, Madam Chair. Yes, Your Honor. This entry-level salary grade 1 is by Republic Act and it's now being implemented.
Kasi may alam po tayong mga information na hindi po salary grade 15 yung pinapasweldo natin sa ating mga contractual NGOs.
We'll have to check on that, but our policy is, if you're contractual, we hire them higher rate, which is the salary grade 16 instead of the plantilla 15. Because that's the policy of government. If you're contractual, we pay you higher so you can pay for your own PhilHealth, you can pay for your own other benefits.
So do we have unfilled position for nurses?
Yes, di ba? Unfilled. Yes, we have many unfilled positions for
How
nurses
many?
distributed all over the country.
How many po? How many?
I think 4,000. If I recall from memory, it's about over 4,000 that are unfilled.
Over
4,000.
4,000. Pero ilan po yung contractual natin? 13,000. So, wala po ba kayong balak na i-fill in itong mga contractual dun sa plantilla positions po?
Yes, they are actually going to be filled in. Either the hospital do not have applicants. Hospitals actually hire immediately once there is an applicant. For the information of the Madam Chair, before we used to have what you call a queuing list of nurses applying for vacant positions. So there was no problem for unfilled positions. The moment someone resigned or left for abroad, there was a nurse. Unfortunately, if we ask our hospitals now, that waiting list is gone. These items are open
Yes.
for them.
Mr. Secretary, sabi nyo nga, sabi nga natin, meron 13,975. Ang open position natin ay 4,000. So bakit hindi ma-fill in? At ba't sinasabi ninyo, walang walang nag-a-apply man ng mga nurse? Available po yung mga contractual nurses natin, di po ba? Bakit hindi sila yung i-fill in doon sa mga plantilla positions?
I came from Philippine General Hospital, Your Honor, before I became Secretary of Health. The situation in the emergency department is that one nurse is taking care of 20 emergency patients. And I asked the chief nurse, why can't we hire new nurses? And the answer to me is walang nag-a-apply.
So imposible po na sabihin natin walang nag-a-apply. So hindi po ako naniniwala na merong nag-a-apply. In fact, may mga contractual nga po eh. Kaya hindi ako naniniwala na walang nag-a-apply ng mga nurses considering na siguro maliit pa yung sweldo pero meron po yan na nag-a-apply. Sabi nyo kanina, kung merong nag-a-apply, sige, bigyan nyo nga po ako ng listahan ng mga ospital. Kung walang mga nag-a-apply, bigyan nyo po kami dito ng listahan. Lahat ng hospital na wala talagang nag-a-apply ng mga nurses para malaman natin na wala talagang nag-a-apply. Kung wala nga nag-a-apply, Madam Chair, itong 13,000, pwede na yung i-fill in doon kung gusto nila.
Mr. Secretary?
Yes,
you're so
we'll
directed
supply
to submit the list.
the list. Yes.
If you have it with you now, we can have the
Yeah.
page pick it up from you.